All right. Good evening. Good evening. Um, man, thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for coming on. Um, I'm seeing people pop into the stream already, man. I'll wait a couple seconds for people to pop into the stream. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the support. Get myself together here as people come in. Come on in. Come on in. I appreciate y'all. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. While you're coming in, please like and share the stream. Please like and share the stream. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name is Jeff Bulls, as it says on the screen. And I want to invite you in and thank you so much for tuning in to what is our first installment, our first episode of Cap Talks Live. Cap Talks Live is a derivative of our in-person forum that we have every month that's called Cap Talks. And those are community talks that we have with the community on various subjects. And so those have been very successful in the community. A lot of people love coming to talk about different issues in the community in person. And so we wanted to do something different and try it virtually as well, because everybody, can't make an in-person meeting all the time. And certainly I understand as well. We work, we have families, we have children. And so, man, it's tough to make a meeting. It's tough to make a meeting after work. It's tough to make a meeting on the weekends. It's tough. I mean, we're dealing with life, and so we thought that we could try a virtual meeting and see how it goes. We think it's going to go really well, and it's convenient for people to pop on and watch a stream, and so we wanted to listen to the people and try something different. So again, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all the support that we've been getting at Saginaw Cap. And let me do a quick recap. If you don't know, if you're tuning in right now and you don't know who Saginaw Cap is, I'll tell you real quick. Saginaw Cap is a 501c3 nonprofit organization located here in the city of Saginaw, but we're a statewide organization. We represent the community in various ways, whether it's environmental, whether it's in criminal justice, social justice, all across the board. We fight for the people. That's what we do in a nutshell. We fight on the policy front, and we also fight, as far as just showing up. We galvanize the people. We organize the people around issues. Sometimes, people, we're living our lives, and people don't always have free time to, actually, dig into an issue and fight for an issue. Go to City Hall, make calls to elected officials, so on and so forth. And so that's where we stand in the gap. We do that type of work where we are the intermediary between your government and you. We speak up for you, and let's be clear about that. We represent the people. Like, we're not bought and paid for by anybody. You know what I mean? And we stand on that. Like, there's nobody stuffing any money in our pockets to shut us up. We fight for the people, period. And, of course, we center the Black community here in Saginaw. There's so many issues that need attention. And, this is yet another forum that we wanted to put together to address those issues and also hear from you. Make no mistake, this is your forum. This is your forum. I want you to, as you tune in, if you have a thought, if you have a comment, if you have something that you want to talk about, please put it in the comments, on whatever medium you're on. If you're watching us on, my personal page, if you're watching us on the Saginaw Cat page, man, leave us a comment. Let's talk. I have some comments, I have some commentary that I want to go over. There's a couple hot button issues that, really need some attention that I'm going to get into here real shortly. But I want to also hear from you. We want to hear from you. We want your comments. We want, what is important to you in the community. What do you think needs addressing in the community? Leave those thoughts in the comments, and I'll do my best to get to them. We're going to try to be on here for about an hour, but let's get into it. The first thing, before I get to any comments, I haven't seen any yet, but the first thing that I want to get to, and I'll bring it up here, is, let's see if it pops up here. But I want to get into the Memorial Cup. The Memorial Cup is something that really needs addressing. It really does. And so, if you have been living under a rock and you don't know what the Memorial Cup is, let me bring the graphic up here. So the 2024 iteration of the Memorial Cup came to Saginaw. It was a 10-day long tournament that came to Saginaw that, promised to be a major event that would, put a lot of, dollars and interest into local businesses, and really kind of supercharge local business, and with thousands of people coming to a city to come to a tournament, one would think that hey, the local businesses would, there will be a lot of foot traffic, a lot of things going on, and so a lot of people they put extra dollars into their businesses. They extended their hours, so on and so forth, to really get ready for the Memorial Cup. And for almost a year, the sentiment was like, hey, this is going to be huge. Let's get ready, get your businesses ready, your nonprofits. Hey, you guys should get ready to volunteer, so on and so forth. Like, our local government, our mayor and other folks, really put heavy emphasis on, the Memorial Cup being, this big event that was going to come, and that, we should clean up because company is coming. You know what I mean? A lot of efforts, a lot of talks, a lot of different forums and things, were put on to get people ready for the Memorial Cup coming to Saginaw. And for all intents and purposes, I think most people were excited. Most people were excited that this was coming. And people adjusted accordingly. They put extra money into their businesses. They opened their business up. Extra hours. Extra days, because in this town, a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants and stuff, they aren't open on a Monday. They aren't open on a Sunday. But you have businesses that open their doors and say, hey, well, we're gonna accommodate this influx of people coming to our region. And so, people did a lot of things to prepare for the Memorial Cup. And, I think, you let me know in the comments what you think. You let me know in the comments what you think. I see a couple in there already. I'll get to those here shortly. You let me know what you think, but I'll just preface it by saying this. It was a hockey tournament in Saginaw. And once you look at it that way, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real. It was a hockey tournament in Saginaw. And to think that, this 10-day tournament was gonna, come here and solve a lot of our ills, You know what I mean? To me, a lot of that was misguided. A lot of that was misguided. Now, can we say that, the messaging was a bit off, or, you know what I mean? I don't want to say misleading, but was the messaging off? Like, did we really believe Santa Claus was going to come? Because if you take the Memorial Cup out and you just look at downtown Saginaw, you look at our city and how it's set up, you know what I mean? Like, did we honestly think that some strangers were going to come here, come to a hockey tournament, and then branch off? I mean, you answer that question for me. You answer that question for me. I think a lot of businesses were done a grave disservice by elected officials and people saying, man, y'all go ahead and get those loans and y'all get ready. That I didn't agree with that. And I feel like there were business people that got screwed in that way. I do. And I hope that there's some type of remedy that can happen on that front, because there's a lot of businesses, a lot of our small business community that ramped up and put money into their business that they didn't necessarily have on hand. Like, to get somebody to get a loan in anticipation of this influx of people that didn't happen for the most part, that had to hurt. And I'm sure it's gonna hurt, because guess what? You got a loan. You didn't get the influx of people, and now you're sitting there holding the bag. Like, okay, man, I bought all this product, and I did all this, and I spruced up the place, and I did all kind of things, and you know what I mean? What was sold to me didn't actually materialize, and so now I'm sitting here with this loan that I got to pay back. I got a loan that I got to pay back, but I didn't get the influx of dollars that I anticipated would cover this loan and some. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of business owners out here today that are hurting and that are disappointed, pissed off, I would just say. Let me just say that. They're pissed off. And I can't blame them. But I do want to come back to, the thought that, look at how our city is set up. Like, I'm from Saginaw. Y'all are from Saginaw. Many of you are from Saginaw. So we love this place. And so when you love something, you know what I mean? Like, you can put a little, you can sprinkle a little, sugar on, you know what I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? Because we live here. We love this place, for the most part, but somebody that's from Canada or wherever, they came here and you dropped them downtown. I look right and there's the hockey tournament, and I look left and it ain't nothing but, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's down there. Ain't nothing but parking lots and stuff downtown. Like, I say all that to say, because I want us to have a real conversation. I want us to have a real conversation about the fact that the Memorial Cup only highlighted what's actually wrong with Saginaw. And when I say what's wrong with Saginaw, I'm talking about, city planning. All the Memorial Cup did was highlight the failures of city planning here. That's all it did. That's all it did. It highlighted policy failures and city planning failures for the last 30 years. That's the conversation y'all need to be having with your city government. Because all you got to do is go down the road a bit and you see what's happening on the riverfront. The same river that runs through Saginaw runs through Bay City. And you see what they're doing on their riverfront. And you see what they're doing in their downtown. And then you come back home and it's not the same. And I'll just ask you a rhetorical question. What's the difference? City planning. City planning. That's the difference. And a 10-day hockey tournament wasn't going to solve that. It was never going to solve that. And so, you know what I mean? If there are people out there who believed in Santa Claus, believe that, you know, that this 10-day tournament was going to come in and just, you know, give us this huge influx of dollars, and it was going to be bells and whistles, and bruh, you were off base. You were off base. You were off base. Peeking in the comments, thank you, Imani. It was never for us anyway. Let's be real. Right? The Memorial Cup, you know, black folks don't really deal with hockey like that. So, you know, a lot of us operated, you know, as normal. You know, shout out to the BV Knights. You know, they had their reunion that same, you know, during that same period. You know what I mean? There were things going on in the black community. We were just like, okay, it's there. And, you know, maybe we'll go to a game, maybe not. I don't know. But, you know what I mean? A lot of us didn't shift our life for it. But there are a lot of businesses that shifted their focus to accommodate these people. And you know, and that's why I can't, you know, as much as we blame, you know, leaders, you know what I mean, especially the people that actually put on the Memorial Cup, that hosted the Memorial Cup, which was basically Dow Event Center, you know, those folks. I can't really put a lot of blame on them. They hosted a hockey tournament. I think the conversation has to shift away from the Memorial Cup, and it has to shift, you know, and questions have to be asked of your city government. Like, why can't we really truly accommodate a Memorial Cup or anything else that comes to a downtown Saginaw? Let's be real. We're not in position to be able to host. And when I say host, usually when you host an event, most of the dollars stay with you. You know, if I have a hockey tournament, you know what I mean? I'm supposed to have some hotels downtown. I'm supposed to have some restaurants downtown. I'm supposed to have some things to do downtown. That way the dollars from the event circulate in your town. As it stands today, your town isn't set up for that. And it's on you, the taxpayer, the voter. You have to ask the questions to your city management, to your city government. Why? Where have we failed? Where have we failed in city planning? That's where the buck stops. That's where the buck stops. For 30 years or more, your city planning department has basically focused on blight removal. They're just like, we're going to tear down some stuff because we went after this blight money, and we going to spend this blight money. We're going to tear down stuff. We're going to tear down stuff that's bad. We're going to tear down some stuff that even look good, that can actually be salvaged. They just tearing down stuff. That's a decision made at City Hall. And that affects a Memorial Cup when it comes to your town. Because guess what? I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I show up here. I don't know nothing about this place. So guess where I'm gonna stay at? Where the hockey tournament is. Guess where I'm gonna walk around at? Where my hotel is. Where is any of that stuff? Not in Saginaw. We're not set up for it. And that's a policy failure. That's a policy failure. That's a master plan failure. All of that rests at City Hall. All of that rests at City Hall. And I'm saying this hopefully to get you to think, like, okay, because we're not helpless in this situation. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let me just throw that out there. We're not helpless in this situation. When somebody says elections have consequences, this is what they mean. Who you elect and who those elected people hire and fire, the makeup of your city hall is determined by that. Why am I bringing that up? Because we're in an election year. We're in an election year. And I'll just ask you, given the picture that I just painted for you, The picture that I just painted for you, are you satisfied with your city government and who you elected? Because that's the only way that you get change. Now, you can try to work with who's there now. You can do that. You can do that. But I charge that many of the people that you would go down there and try to work with right now, they've been there. This ain't nothing new to them. This is nothing new. You ain't going to go down there and say, hey, what happened? And they're going to be like, I don't know. They've been there. They've been there. You got some tenured people that have been in that building, that have been in that building. These are intentional decisions being made to not develop your downtown. These are intentional decisions to tear down things and not build nothing back behind it. This is government. This is how government works or doesn't work. Either government works or it doesn't. And who you elect, has a direct effect on that. So, I mean, I don't know how else to paint that picture for you. The failure of the Memorial Cup to infuse dollars into the city of Saginaw's economy, that happened long before the Memorial Cup ever got here. The Memorial Cup just got here and exposed it. That's all that happened. The Memorial Cup got here and people thought a certain thing. And when a certain thing didn't happen, people were like, what happened? What happened? Well, I just told you what happened. What happened 30 years ago. When your city planning department didn't decide to develop your downtown, but instead chose to go on a blight campaign with the land bank and tear down and tear down and tear down. That happened from City Hall. I'll bring attention to the green zone as well. That's a City Hall decision. They chose to make the north side or a big patch of the north side the green zone and not touch it for 20 years. That was a policy decision from your City Hall. I need us to start seeing things from a policy perspective and from an elected official standpoint. Somebody made the decision that resulted in what you see as your downtown. That was made by elected officials and also city staff. But city staff, they're under the elected officials. You know what I mean? Just to get into some real quick civics, you know what I mean? Because this is a thing in the city. Like a lot of people feel like, or they truly believe that we have a city manager that runs the city and that there's no recourse. No. Let me clear that up for you real quick before I move on. The city council, he's an employee of the city council. They run him. If he comes with a recommendation that says, hey, I want to do such and such, the city council can vote and say, no, you're not doing that. Why do I bring that up? Another hot button issue, Ojibwe Island. That decision was suggested by your city manager and it was passed by your city council. Your city manager said, hey, Ojibwe shouldn't have traffic going through it. City council could have said, nah, bro, you go back and figure out something else. They didn't do that. They agreed with him. Y'all got to know that. Y'all got to know that. I say that to say your city government is crucial in how your city looks. Everything that you see going on, with Riverfront and all those different things that's happening with rail trails and different things that's happening for a certain community. And then you got, another certain community that's being ignored in the process. That comes from City Hall. And it's up to y'all to change it or not. If you good with it, then you vote them people right back in. But if you're not, you can do something about it. You can do something about it. And I hope that you're clear on that. Let me get to some comments before I move on. I see Terrence Miles. Appreciate you, brother. He says, I think that the small businesses should come together to get answers for what happened and the way it happened. Yeah. And I'll point you in one direction, City Hall. It's the only place you got to go. It's the only place you got to go. I'll make it real simple for you. You ain't got to drive. You ain't got to use a bunch of gas. You ain't got to drive to 2, 3, 4, 5 different places. One-stop shop, City Hall. Start at your city manager's office. Talk to your city council as well. They're the ones in conjunction that make these decisions. The city manager is the day-to-day manager, so he makes decisions, but how he does that is he has to bring suggestions to the city council. Now, he doesn't have to bring everything to them. He has to, he can't run the business day to day. And that's the caveat. That's where people sometimes get mixed up because people say, well, he runs the city. No, let's not get into semantics. He runs the city day to day, meaning he runs his staff and he makes general decisions on a day-to-day basis because he's basically running the business. But make no mistake, on major issues, he has to bring that suggestion to city, your city council and say, and that's why I brought up Ojibwe as an example, because that was a suggestion from him. He said, I suggest, it is my recommendation that Ojibwe be closed to vehicular traffic because of A, B, C, D, whatever. City council could have said, nope, come up with something else. We're not closing it. That could have happened. It didn't happen because he brought the recommendation. City council approved it. What you gonna do about that? That's my question to you. Let's get back to the comments. I see Imani had a few. See, can't blame a business for being a business and wanting money. Like you said, it's the planning that we were left out of. Absolutely. I don't think I don't think enough of the right questions were asked. They weren't asked. I think, and there are some things that were put in place to possibly help move people around. Shout out to Stars for those 10 days. They had, new routes and they had their current routes. Everything was free from Stars. Like people could just jump on even if you weren't going to the Memorial Cup, if you were just going to the mall or you were just going to the grocery store or something, like for those 10 days, you could have got on the bus for free and went anywhere you wanted to. If you just wanted to ride around the city, you could have just jumped on the bus for free. So I think there were things that were put in place to try to mitigate, but make no mistake, they weren't going to fix what was structurally wrong in the first place. They just tried to mitigate. They just tried to do some things, put some shuttles out there and do some different things. But those are Band-Aids. Those are Band-Aids. The truth of the matter is your city has failed you in city planning for the last 30, 40 years. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. And I dare anybody to jump on here and tell me different. You can't. You can't. You cannot. Going back to the comments, I see you, Danita. Thank you for your comment. We need new leadership. That's the answer to all the questions. That's the question that you're gonna have to ask yourself. As a voter, as a taxpayer, are you good with current leadership? Because if you're good with current leadership, if you're good with getting tongue tied. If you're good with what's happening right now, well then you'll vote everybody else back in. But if you're not, then you got a decision to make. And you're going to look at that ballot a little bit differently. Like, okay, well, who else is on here? That's the decision that you have to make as a citizen, because elections have consequences. Who you elect means everything to a process like this, and to every process that matters in a city. It matters. Elections matter. Don't let nobody tell you that elections don't matter. Now, me personally, I ain't all that enchanted with, the national elections, the Biden, Trump, all that stuff. Like, I'm not even enchanted with none of that stuff. But make no mistake, as people, we should be hyper focused on local elections. Local elections are what matters, because that's what affects you day to day. You ain't gonna never see the president, more than likely. I mean, I know he came here, you know what I'm saying, but how often does that happen? Almost never. But you'll see your city council people at the gas station, at Walmart. You'll see your county prosecutor out, you know what I mean, on Old Town at a bar somewhere. Like, local elections matter more. And we're going to talk about that going forward. There are some things that's in play, that I can't speak on right now. But trust me when I tell you, local elections matter. Local elections. That's what changes things. That's what would make a Memorial Cup coming to Saginaw better, when you have leaders that have vision, that can see stuff coming 5, 10, 15 years down the road, and make policy decisions to get to a point that when those big things come, we ready for them. I don't have to tell you that we weren't ready for this. Now, shout out to Dow, and shout out to the people who put on the Memorial Cup as a standalone event at the Dow Event Center. Everything that I've heard, it was great. Everything that I heard, the actual Memorial Cup was excellent. That it was well attended, that people, had a good time, and you know what I mean? Like, but that was in a bubble. Like, it was at the Dow and Dow adjacent, like right there. Like, in that bubble, everything I've heard, that it was great. And, congratulations to, Saginaw Spirit, who won the Memorial Cup. So congratulations. Great job. I think that's our first. So, man, congratulations to everybody that's involved with the team. It's great. You can't hate on that. That was great. I think they've done a wonderful job with that organization. You can't do nothing but tip your cap to that organization. But as it pertains to Saginaw City going out, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. And, the only way that you can remedy that, the only way that you can rectify that and change course, in my opinion, you might have to change leadership, as Danita just said in the comments. So, going forward, we'll see, how that works. More comments. Shout out to Pastor Hayes. Salute. Thank you so much for being on and always supporting us with Saginaw Kappa. I appreciate you, Pastor. Thank you so much. We're going to shift gears here to something a little bit more positive that I want to put out there for you all. And that's something that us with Saginaw Kappa is doing. And I believe the graphic is up now. We're having our second annual block party in the community. Shout out to everybody that came out last year. Appreciate you, Pastor. Man, we're gonna do it again. And if you didn't make it last year, man, I suggest that you mark your calendar, save the date, July 17th, 2024. Next month, we're a month away. The 24 edition of the block party. We partner with New Life Ministries. Shout out to Dr. Tatum, Pastor Tatum, and the New Life Ministries team and Mission in the City. Man, when I tell you, they are amazing. Mission in the City and New Life Ministries, man, they are amazing. and they're our partner in this, and man, and they helped us make this a magnificent event right in the city, and we did that on purpose. We did that on purpose. We wanted our folks to understand that we could celebrate us in our community. We ain't gotta, no offense to any other place in the city, the Hoyt Parks of the world, but we wanted to do our block party in the city with our folks, right there on James Street, right in the heart of the East Side. And guess what? It went incredibly well last year. It was basically like a family reunion, and we're gonna do it again, y'all. We're gonna do it again. Again, the date is July 17th, 2024, at the Mission in the City Park. It's at 1401 James Avenue in Saginaw, here in Saginaw, in the heart of the East Side. Man, we're gonna have all kind of kids activity. This is for the whole family. This is for the whole family. Last year, man, we had little babies and strollers all the way up to grandmothers and great grandmothers. People out there playing cards and dominoes and all sorts of things. Thank you, Danita. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So July 17, 2024, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to be in the park all day celebrating. We got a DJ. Shout out to DJ Eric Smith. That's my guy. Man, he kept us rocking last year. Music was just flowing all day. People were having a good time. People were dancing and having a good time. We had a bunch of vendors out there. And let me highlight that as well. We'll have to share the link in the comments, hopefully. But, nonprofits and service providers, you get to have a free table. You get to have a free table. So all of our nonprofits, all of our folks that serve the community in many respects and many aspects, a lot of our folks do great work. And sometimes, your resources aren't getting to the people sometimes. Like sometimes you get to some people, but not other people. And so this is the opportunity for you to bring your table out and bring your resources, your pamphlets, and actually talk to people about what you do and actually share what you do in the community. In many respects, these are the people that you serve that maybe you haven't had a chance to get to. And so that was another reason why we wanted to do this in the community, because we want to do things in the community that we serve, that we're from. And so this block party is going to be amazing yet again. And so we invite you, the whole community, to come out on that day, have a good time. We're going to have food vendors. We're going to have for-profit vendors, people that sell different things, a good mixture of everything. And then we're going to have all types of different food stations and, games and prizes, different announcements, because, and we're still adding stuff. We're still talking about different things that we're trying to add to the day. And we'll make those announcements once we confirm some things. But when I tell you, even as it is right now, it promises to be an incredible event. People came out last year and had a ball. People in the neighborhood walked up. Like, make no mistake, like, this is for everybody. This is for everybody. Thank you, Imani. If you want to, if you're a nonprofit or a service provider or any type of vendor, hit that link in the chat that Imani just put in the chat. Sign up. Like, we're a month away. That month is going to go quick. Before you know it, it's going to be July. Y'all know how it is in Michigan in the summer, man. Our summer goes, just like that. And so, next month is going to pop up before you know it, and block party is going to be here. So while you can, ASAP, jump on, sign up to be a vendor, sign up, whether you're a service provider or whether you sell goods and services, sign up. We have a fee for-profit vendors, like food vendors, that's $75. And then all other vendors that are for-profit, like if you sell clothes or different things like that, though, that's $50. But all the information is in the link. like the pricing and all that stuff. Everything is in that link. So click that link. If you want to be a vendor at the block party, I promise you, you're going to have a good time. You know, you're going to be in front of thousands of people. Like we did this last year, and we just put it together on a whim. Last year, we put it together in a month. We came up with the idea and said we need to do something, you know, to celebrate the community and get with the community. We did this in a month, and we got over 3,000 people out there in a month. Like we didn't even really push it that hard, and you know, we got thousands of people out there. This one promises to be even bigger. We got a lot of people that are already signed up. So go ahead and hit that link. If you're interested, man, get on in there and sign up, man. And we're going to have a good time. Like all of the service providers that you can think about are going to be there. You know, your Covenants and your Great Lakes Bay Health and, you know, Molina Healthcare and all the folks that service the community, including, you know, our neighborhood associations. You know, Holden Jones is going to be there. Man, I could name off so many, but everybody in the community is going to come out. We're going to have a good time. Man, I can't, you know, show my excitement enough. I just think about last year and you know, how great of a time we had. We had the fire department come out. You know, they brought their fire truck out. You know, they did some fire safety things with the kids. Man, we had a basketball camp last year. I believe we're going to have a basketball camp again this year. That's going to be going on at the same time. So, you know, if you've never been to Mission in the City Park, then that's a beautiful park. And so they have 2 full courts in the park. So kids were playing basketball. They were a part of a camp. And you know, we grilled some hot dogs for them, and we had a great time just with them. But then, you know, you had the DJ going, you know, playing great music. You know, shout out to Eric Smith, did a great job. He's going to be back again this year. We had excellent vendors. You know, man, shout out to Jackie Tyson, man. She be out there with her shirts, and you know what I mean. I'm plugging people now, but man, we had so many great vendors out there, food vendors. You know, shout out to Bubbles. He was there last year. We trying to get him back again this year, man. Like y'all know how he get down with them tips. Man, we just had a great time, and everybody that talks about, you know, our block party last year, you know, they can't help but smile and think back like, man, we had a great time, and we're going to do that again. And there's a reason for that. Again, we want to show the community that we can rock with each other. Like we ain't got to go nowhere else. We can rock with each other right here in the community, right here in our own community with us. Like so many negative connotations are put on our community that we can't do this or that we can't do that. I don't speak that. Because number one, it ain't true. And number two, I don't believe in speaking things into existence. Like I don't speak negative on my community. Like we're a great community. We're an awesome community. We work together. We collaborate with each other. You know, we do great things with each other, and that's going to continue. And you know, that's just what I believe. That's how I wake up every day, believing that we're going to do great things. We're going to continue to do great things. You know, and that's in my prayers always, that we continue to do great things and continue to realize that we can do this together. And we don't need, you know, and let me just say this too. Like we didn't have a police presence out there. Like nobody was, you know, we didn't have that out there, and that's no negative on the police. Let me clear that up real quick, because you know sometimes people carry, you know, people bring bones, people carry bones. Like, but let me be clear, that was no shot at the police. It's a credit to us that we didn't need no police presence. We didn't need nobody posted over here and posted over there, and man, we did our thing without that. Matter of fact, we had a couple police that came off duty that just came to have a good time. They weren't there to work and watch people or nothing like that. They came to have a good time just like everybody else. We ain't need none of that. And let that be a message to you all. We don't, we're not a community that needs to be over policed. Nobody needs to hold our hand. We can have a good time with each other. And that's what we're going to do with this block party. We're going to have a good time together yet again. So, again, the links are in the chat. The links are also on our social media page. If you go to our Saginaw Cat page, if you're friends with me on social media, I post, that stuff. And so wherever you see the link, you know what I mean? It's a very simple sign up. It's probably about maybe 4 questions. It's easy, real quick to sign up. And man, get on board. Come on out there. It promises to be an amazing event yet again. To my spades players out there, man, y'all come on. Y'all come on. Councilwoman Monique is waiting on y'all. She's waiting on y'all. Like it went down last year. We had some spades players out there that was going ham. So if you're a spades player, hey, we invite you to come on out, and get under that pavilion, because that's where it was going down. If you're a dominoes player, got a couple tables for you too. It was going down. Like, come on in. Like, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a great time. And like I said, any other information you may need on the block party, please go to our social media. Saginaw Cap across all platforms, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter. You can find information also on our website, which is saginawcap.org. That's saginawcap.org. And while I'm here, as we serve the community, we need volunteers. We need volunteers to help us do the work. We're doing some great work, regardless. But we could use a few more people on our team. And we recently had a volunteer drive, and we got some people in. And but we can use some more. We can use some more. So if you're willing to be a volunteer, please go to saginawcap.org. Sign up to be a CAP ambassador. That's what we call our volunteers, CAP ambassadors. And so please sign up. We're going to have another meeting with our volunteers sometime soon. We want to get them together to help us with the block party. Although we have some volunteers already on deck. Shout out to the help team, with Kareem Bowen and Terry Rubin and all my big brothers. They've signed on to help us out the block party, to bring the young men out there and the young women out there to help us organize and keep things in order, maybe pick up trash and different things that we're going to need volunteers to do at the block party. So shout out to Help CVI, that is. We appreciate you, brothers, and shout out to them, man. They're doing great things in the community. If you don't know who Help is, you will know who they are shortly. Look them up on Facebook. They have a social media presence. That's HELP, help, the word help. And they're doing great things with mentoring kids, man. And shout out to them for, and I say them, but I'm actually a Help member as well, just so you know. But man, shout out to Help. They're doing great things. Shout out to Antonio Brooks and all the brothers, man, that's doing excellent work with Help. And so please support them. If you have a team that, maybe needs some mentoring, maybe needs a nudge from a big brother or a big uncle or whatever, man, like, get them to help. Get them to help, man. Get them to one of their sessions. They do great jobs. They do a great job with the kids, man. And so, I can't, shout them out enough. Amazing, amazing work they're doing. Checking the comments, man. I don't have any more comments, man. So I'll go ahead and close this out, man. But I want to thank everybody that came on, that left comments. Shout out to Danita. Shout out to Imani, and others, Pastor Hayes, and others that left comments, man. And thank you all for your support. Let me say that, Saginaw Cap, we've been operating since the pandemic, since 2020. And we couldn't do what we do without you. And so I want to thank you all, everybody that has supported us in some way. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you just shared a post. I don't care if you know what I mean, like you just, gave us a hug when you seen, hey, or some type of encouragement or whatever you've done to help us move advocacy forward in this community. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you all. God bless. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, but we appreciate you guys. Look us up on social media. If you don't follow us, Saginaw Cap on all platforms. Look us up on our website, saginawcap.org. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. And we love Saginaw. Peace out. Peace and love. Appreciate y'all. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here.